Hello again, my beautiful friends. Thank you for showing up. I'm happy to be here, getting ready for school. It's Friday, hooray. So, this is Noisy Neighbors Part 2. Actually, Part a million, right? I've been dealing with this for years. If you watched my first video on this, you'll know this has been a very tough topic for me. And it's really great ground for me to practice all these tools and all these spiritual principles that I'm trying to implement in my life. And I do believe that that's why we're given this stuff. I don't think the universe is out there testing us or anything like that, but I think on some level I'm creating these challenges because this is where I need to grow, or this is what I need to move to the next level or something like that. Yeah, so last night, get into bed, it's 10:30 at night, snuggling up, and then boom, some loud fucking hip-hop music starts, and it is beneath me. It's the dude in the basement who I haven't met yet, and it's just blasting, and it was just completely aggravating and disheartening. Every neighbor that's lived in this apartment has blasted some kind of bullshit hip-hop. I don't have anything so much against hip-hop, but I just don't understand how you can be a neighbor sharing space with people and decide that bassy music at any time of day really, but especially at night, is okay. And so those are the kind of thoughts that are going through my mind, and this has been going on for so long, and it is just like, what in the fuck is happening here? And I was feeling so frustrated and so persecuted and so victimized and trapped and powerless. And if you watched the video about this before, you know that I've made a commitment until the end of my lease, which is in November, that I am going to cease all againstness, as Neil Donald Walsh has put it. And I am just going to live and let live, and I am just going to deal with this shit and deal with my side of the street and deal with my mindset and the thoughts in my mind, and just not go banging on walls, not go knocking on doors, just let it lie and see what happens and see what kind of growth comes from that. And man, it is hard. And I just wanted to share this video because at any point when you have made a decision and when you have committed to something, there's always going to be a point, several points, where you are put up against it and you are challenged and you are feeling threatened and you feel like, that I didn't really mean that, or that was stupid, I need to let that go. And I was up and out of bed 3 different times last night, just like ready to throw on some boots and run downstairs and regulate, you know? I haven't met this guy before, and I was just going to go bang on his door at 11 at night and be like, what the fuck, dude? It was very tempting, it felt very necessary, and yet I resisted the urge. And I just wanted to share with you some of the things that helped me get through it, and why I think that it's valuable. And there will probably be another video about this, because I still want to keep these short. But so one thing I've shared is Byron Katie's The Work, where she talks about asking the 4 questions and doing a turnaround. And she has us questioning all of our thoughts, especially when we're upset, when we're suffering. And so I realized that one of the thoughts that was causing me a great deal of suffering was people should be quiet when they share space with other people, or they should be quiet at night. And right away, when there's a should anywhere, you're in trouble, because shoulds argue with reality, as Katie puts it. And my sponsor used to say, leave shoulds in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. So it's useless. Like, whatever should be happening, that's not what's happening now. And so I realized when I was just focusing on the should, and then the reality was here in my face, but I was focusing on the should, and here's the reality, I was just getting myself in a bigger and bigger tizzy. So I did get out of bed, and I was pacing around, and I don't know, check out EFT tapping. I did some of that. I know a lot of people that I respect that are into it. Maybe I'll do another video on that later, but I tried some of that. And I also prayed a lot. Like, this whole thing about designing, I get to come up with a higher power as I understand it. And this God that I have today, she can take my fucking anger, and I can bitch, and I can be like, what the fuck? I'm trying so hard. Why do you keep sticking me with these people? Why does this keep happening? Like, it's okay to let some of that childlike, raging pettiness out. Because when you're in the moment, you feel like you're right, and you feel like what is happening is so awful. And it doesn't matter that I can compare what's happening to me to people that are going through way worse things in the world. Like, I've tried to soothe myself with thoughts that, like, you know, someone who's outside tonight sleeping on the streets would gladly trade me places and wouldn't think twice about the music playing. I get it, like, it's the sense of privilege that I can complain about a noisy neighbor. But I was still suffering from it, so it's okay to acknowledge that, and it's okay to let that out. And then the other thing, once I took some time and took some of the tools out of the kit and did some of these things to soothe this, and stuck to my commitment, like I'm staying in my apartment and I'm not going to complain about this right now. I'm just going to deal with the thoughts that come up. Once I did that, I was able to put myself back to bed and I was able to have a little more sanity around it. Like, yes, it was loud. Yes, it seemed inappropriate. But again, that's a judgment. The facts of it were that I could hear someone playing music. And I ended up falling asleep. And it ended up being okay. I got out my little iPad and put on a meditation thing that I like. Excuse me. And you know, more than the music, it was my anger and frustration and my thoughts that were keeping me awake because I fell asleep. So again, I just wanted to show up and say this shit ain't easy, but it's doable. And I would say start now. If you don't have anything in your life that's really testing you like this, start now because you don't want to have to try to figure this out when you're in the heat of it. So hope that helped. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.